Hey friends, it's Jayma here, and I have another scrapbooking video for you today. I'm going to create a double page Easter layout from Easter 2 years ago. I've got 6 photo spots plus an extra photo and journaling spot that are going to go hidden in a flip flap. This is a collaboration with my friends on the creative design team where we're all sharing spring or Easter layouts this week. So I'm going to do a linear design, and this pattern right here especially I've been dying to use in this Splash of Sparkles Specialty Designer Series paper. I'm just going to use those 2 patterns from this pack, but just thought I'd flip through this so you can see all the gorgeous patterns. It has some amazing foiling on them. There's a lot of busy patterns, but today I'm showing you one of my tried and true go-to designs when I have busy paper, and that's to flank the sides of the layout with that busy pattern. The pattern I'm using here isn't terribly busy, but there is a lot of different colors, and it does read, it can read a little bit busier when there's so many colors, so I decided to flank the sides in this way. This pink pattern is also from the Splash of Sparkles pack, and it's one of the most neutral patterns from the pack. I was wishing there was a more tone-on-tone pattern from that pack that I could use with it, but this white pattern that you see here, there's actually very subtle pink polka dots on it, and it's from a pack called I think it's called Mixed In Patterns. It's designed to have like tone on tone and more subtle patterns that you can mix in with all of the other packs that come out around the same time. So it works beautifully with this. So I did decide to put the pink up at the top and bottom, and then the white is going to go across the middle. And I decided to do that because I'm matting my photos in this blue. I loved this blue color with my photos and with the paper, and so I wanted the blue on top of the white. I thought that would look better than having it on top of the pink. And there's a funny story about this blue. This is Azure Afternoon, or Azure, however you want to pronounce it. So I'll tell you that in a moment, but I want to show you I was able to get all these pink pieces from just the one sheet of pink. They're cut to 3.5 inches, so I cut 3.5 inches from one side, and then I rotated it, and then I cut 3.5 inches in 3 more pieces. So since they don't go all the way across the page, they're only about 8 inches long, you can get it all from one piece. And then I have another pink for another project. And then that white centerpiece is cut to 5.5 inches tall. So on this particular Easter in 2024, my son had broke his ankle, but in the morning when we woke up, we didn't know at that time that it was broken. But because of that, I wanted to come up with a clever play on that for the title. So I turned to ChatGPT, which I often do for my titles, and one of the options it came up with was hopping through Easter, because for the Easter egg hunt on our back patio, he was hopping around with his Easter basket trying to find the eggs. I'll expand on that story in just a bit, but I want to talk about these embellishments. I'm using the Easter time mix and match ephemera, which some of those pieces are going to work perfectly. And then my very favorite Nature's Symphony dies, these leaves here. Oh my gosh, they are so good. And so I'm using those as kind of the base of each of my embellishment clusters. Now, this is Shy Shamrock, which is one of the in colors from 2024 to 2026. So it is retiring soon, and I love this color. But I find it hard to work with sometimes because a lot of times I have like nature photos, or like in this case, backyard photos where I've got the green grass that's like garden green color. And so this Shy Shamrock can be hard to work with when you've got those types of greens. So what I did was I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go with it. I really don't have a lot of grass showing in the photos. So it's not like the grass stands out a lot like it does in some of my other photos, but also sometimes when you really want to work with a paper pack, you can just sort of ignore certain colors. And so you can see here that because I'm using so much of the Shy Shamrock green, it doesn't draw attention to the green that's in the grass. If I were to use garden green, it would make the green in the grass stand out more. But since the grass is obviously not a focal point of the the photos, I don't need it to stand out. It's just kind of in the background. So don't feel like you have to match every color in a paper pack perfectly to your photos. You really want to use paper and cardstock colors that are going to complement the parts of your photos that you want to stand out. So the focal points of my photos are my kids. We've got my daughter in hot pink, and I've got a lot of pink, but I think the hot pink is so different from everything else I'm using that those photos of her just kind of stand out on their own. And then my son is in blue, and he's got a blue Easter basket. And then in the photos of him at urgent care, he's wearing the azure afternoon color blue. And so the colors that I've used help to complement the photos. So for my embellishing, I started with the same leaves for the base of each cluster, and then I brought in at least one of each color from that Easter mix and match ephemera. So I've got brown in each cluster, I've got blue in each cluster, and I've got yellow in each cluster. That pack has some different colorways. There's also some pink and some purple, but I didn't like the pink with my layout. It wasn't quite the right color. And then as you can see, my photos covered up that purple stripe that was on that paper. So I didn't want to bring in any purple, even though that probably could have worked. But I've got every color that I'm using represented in each cluster, and that kind of helps draw your eye around the page. I decided that the clusters looked a little bit they needed some grounding. So I brought in these circles from the Spotlight on Nature, which are some of my favorite dies, and we found out they are in the next catalog, so they are going to continue moving forward, which is awesome news because they're such a great versatile die set. So I think that those grounding spots made a big difference. And then I was thinking that my title is just not really standing out quite enough. So I brought in a little bit more of that azure afternoon, and I'm backing the gold with it. And I think that helps it stand out a little bit more, and I'll use them kind of as a drop shadow. And then I had used the wood pattern for that through, and I decided I didn't like that after adding all of the brown embellishments because it just sort of made a fourth point of the brown, and it just kind of drew your eye there. And I like odd numbers. I feel like it looks more balanced when you have odd numbers, and I wasn't going to add brown anywhere else, so I decided to turn those to blue. And I thought I'll try them layered with the gold on top like the others, and I didn't like that. It was just too much gold, so I'm going to leave that blue so it just looks a little bit different. I decided I needed some wordy bits, so I pulled out this Close to My Heart stamp set from my stash, and I stamped You Have My Heart and Living the Good Life in pretty and pink, and those will be added to a couple of the clusters. So back to the story of my son and urgent care. So the day before Easter, he was jumping on the trampoline, I think just with my daughter, and nothing major happened. He just happened to land on the trampoline just the wrong way and hurt his ankle. And so we said, okay, just, let's sleep on it. I think it happened like in the evening at dusk time. We said, okay, let's just sleep on it, see how it is tomorrow. And he woke up and it was all swollen and still hurt, and he couldn't put any weight on it. So he hopped around for the Easter egg hunt, and then we took him to urgent care, and sure enough, it was a break. But isn't it incredible that he was in a cast for only 3 weeks, and then it was completely healed and he was back to playing soccer? And it's just crazy how fast kids heal. I was at a retreat when I created this layout. Yes, I've been to a couple recently, and I've got quite a bit of content still, so I'm just doing voiceovers. But anyways, I forgot to bring my stamp chamois to clean my stamps, so I was borrowing my friend Kalia's, and so that's this right here. I am still using the Close to My Heart stamp chamois because it was still in working order. I have the Stampin' Up stamp chamois, and now after using Kalia's, I am hooked. It is so good. It's like extra squishy and gets in the nooks and crannies, and I highly recommend. So now I'm switching over to the one that I have from Stampin' Up. And then I also was so good about printing my journaling. I printed journaling just onto cardstock on my Epson PM400 printer. You can print onto cardstock. I just made it 4 inches wide. Unfortunately, I got last year and the year before's Easter mixed up, so I have to redo some of the journaling. But at least it's done, and I had decided to move the journaling to the strip journaling because it looked a little bit blank down in that spot. So I added another photo from urgent care up to where the flip flap will go. And then I also wanted to finish the story about the Azure Afternoon. So I really wanted to use the Azure Afternoon cardstock to mat my photos and to use on my title, but I didn't have any. So I was asking some other people there because there were a lot of other Stampin' Up! Friends at this retreat, and nobody had any. So nobody even had the ink. So I was trying to use the balmy blue that I brought to ink onto some white cardstock to make my own blue paper and try matting it, but it just wasn't the right blue. I didn't like it. And so I had just put this layout aside and was going to finish it at home. But then my friend found a piece, and so we were so excited. She had an 8.5 by 11 piece that she let me have. So I will tell you, I used that piece so strategically to get all of these mats out of it and also the pieces for my title. So I was very happy to have that and to be able to finish this layout. Well, I'm home now, so I wanted to show you a close-up of the layout in the better lighting, and I'm also going to show you how to add these photos into the flip flaps if you haven't done that before. So first, let's take a closer look. So I don't know if you could tell before, but I did ink around the edges of the blue mats as well as this white paper in black in lieu of having a thin black border like I sometimes do. Because I have brown embellishments, I didn't want to have a black border, which is why I was really trying to find the blue. So I'm glad that somebody had it for me. Thank you so much, Dawn. But yeah, so hopefully you can see there's just that little bit of black, and I think that it still blends well with the brown and helps that kind of pop off the page a little bit more. So there's a little close-up at the clusters. I just love these dies. The leaves have such beautiful detail, and I've got this in some more layouts coming up that I also created at this retreat, and hopefully you can see the little gems and the sparkle that they give. Those are my very favorite gems. They're so pretty. They look almost like a disco ball, the way they have all those facets. It's so pretty. So let's take a look over at this side. So notice I've got the yellow and the blue and the brown and then the green leaves in every cluster. And then you can see here that this green is different. And then we've got a little bit of that green here and a little bit in the wreath too. But I think it blends just fine, especially since we have it in each of the clusters. And I just love this paper so much. I wish it was just showing like maybe an inch more. So if I had cut it to 5 inches, I think I would have been happier, but it's okay. I've got another 4 inches to use for another project. Okay, so I have the right side in the page protector now, and when you do this, just make sure that you've got your holes over on the inside. You don't want to accidentally have them on the outside because then you're going to place your flip flap on the wrong side of the page. So I've got the pictures of my son. Now this one, I think it's really funny that he's sticking his tongue out right there. And then I don't know if you noticed on this one, he's got this really mad look on his face because he hates it when I take his pictures. Sometimes he's a ham, like here. And then sometimes he's like, no, I hate life, don't take my picture. And then sometimes he's goofy and sticks out his tongue. So just because these are inside and the lighting's not as good, I'm gonna put them under, and then I'm gonna put this one on top because it's outside, the lighting is good, and then we see kind of the finished effect of him coming out of urgent care with his boot. I think it was a couple days later or maybe a week later we went to the orthopedist and he got a cast, but this was all just on Easter. So in the pack of the flip flaps, you get 2 different styles of flip flaps. You get them with the adhesive on the short side and on the long side. So what I typically like to do is I like to use these if I have landscape photos, because then it's flipping up, but it doesn't matter if you have it on the side. So if you like run out of this kind, or you run out of this kind, because I think I more often have vertical photos, then you can use this and just have the sticky side on the side and it'll flip like this instead of flipping up. So in this case, I will use this one. So you want to make sure that when you fold this little flap back, that this little piece here with the adhesive, you want that folded back so that the adhesive is going to be facing the page. So I've got it like this, and then it's going to flip up like this. So first I'm going to go ahead and orient my photos. So one of them needs to be upside down, because then when you flip it up, it will be right side up. And another thing I like to do is just add a little bit of adhesive to tape them together. That way they don't shift when they are in the flip flap. So this one is facing up, so we want it like this. And I'll just stick this inside the flip flap. Sometimes it's also helpful if you trim your photo like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than 3 inches wide, or 4 inches wide in the case of the other one, just so that it slides in a little bit easier. So now we've got this all set. We're going to fold this back and kind of burnish it. I like to do that first. And then we are simply going to peel this off. It's super, super simple. We'll fold it back again, and then I'm going to line it up so that the photo is over the photo. So you've got a little bit of a seam here, so it sticks out maybe 1/8 of an inch further than the photo. But I like to line up the photo on top of the photo. So that looks pretty good to me without getting my head totally in the way. So that looks good, and then I'll lift it up and I'll just kind of burnish it. And so you can see that this little flap kind of sticks down and it, comes onto this photo. But when you start burnishing it and rub it in, it really, like the adhesive there virtually disappears. You can see this just a little bit, but that doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you can adhere this straight to your page, and then you cut a slit in your page protector and you can feed it through. And I have a lot of friends that do it that way, and I have a lot of friends that do it this way on top of the page protector. It just is it's a very personal preference, so it depends on how you like to do it. This way is just easier for me. If I can avoid cutting into my page protector, I do. So this works just fine. One thing I've been asked is, well, because of gravity, how does it work in your album? So when you're flipping this, a lot of times this might kind of flip up on its own once you turn the page. To me, it doesn't bother me, because then that tells the viewer already that this is a flap that you can lift up and see more photos. So if that bothers you, there's some options. I think that if you have the flap on the side, that doesn't happen quite as much. It usually happens when it's flipping up. Another thing you can do is get like a little magnet on Amazon. You can get really, really tiny, thin magnets, and you can put one underneath the photo, and then you can put one in between these two photos so that it'll kind of magnetize there. So that's another option. But like I said, it really doesn't bother me, because it just, it automatically tells the viewer that there's another photo there. I will have these linked in the description below, along with everything else I've used here. So click that more link underneath this video, and that will expand the description. You'll see lots more information, including the playlist for the creative design team, but that's also on the screen right here. So you go ahead and click that and see the other Easter or spring projects that the other girls have prepared for you. And there's also another one of my videos here on the left if you're interested in viewing that. So enjoy, and I'll see you next time.